I
Great.
feel a little more limber.
Nice. Yeah. I heard you with, you were watching Mari.
Yes,
Yes.
because I have edema in my upper spine. So my neck is always, I don't have a lot of mobility when I go this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So.
And I had the torn rotator cuff 2 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Right?
and it's healed now because it was partial, but still, I just want to stick.
You have to take care of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are certain things I can't do, like I'm not supposed to go back, put my arm back.
Yeah.
It has to
Don't
be
want to go
straight.
back to your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like reaching into the back seat. That's a no-no.
That's very hard for me. I don't do it.
That's a no-no.
Yeah.
When you reach back behind your shoulder, yeah, that's that. You have to be extremely careful. I probably wouldn't even do it.
Yeah.
Except maybe a gentle stretch. Stretch. Yeah. Okay. But ponder this. Okay. Remember, I was talking about the 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though this is ostensibly this is a knee video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You always want to work on the 1, 2, 3, 4 because this is how the body really is designed. It actually flourishes, including the edema, including the proper muscle and nerve relationships and the blood vessel relationships. Mm-hmm. It's all designed to work from this position, not from this position.
Right.
All kinds of things can happen.
Yeah, when I'm on the computer, I've been practicing.
Good.
Doing that, and it feels a lot better.
Excellent. Oh, proud of you.
Yeah.
And for all of you who may be watching posthumously, watching this video also, yeah, even though this is a knee video, exercise video, okay, it's really all one body. And so even when you do knee exercises, you want to achieve the better alignment because the body is more efficient and it flourishes and reinforces everything else right on down to the foot if you can achieve and maintain. Attain and maintain your better alignment. And that's, here we go. So that's 1 around the lower neck. In the lower neck. 1 is the lower neck lifts up and back as if you're lying on a pillow on your back and you're gently pressing the back of your neck into the pillow. Okay. Of course, sitting or standing, the same thing. The back of your neck gently goes into the pillow, imaginary pillow, to help create the lift to your lower neck, which strengthens between the muscles between your shoulder blades also. So we have helped to avoid the dreaded hunchies.
Yeah.
The hunchies, okay? Yeah, that you see in so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Stay young. So, and that's 1. 2, the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades move back and down in addition to 1, where the neck moves up and back. 3, the abdominals. The abdominals. Here this is my natural position if I let go. You can see how I'm putting a lot of pressure into my back. This is natural for me. I'm not even faking it. Okay. This is lax. So now 3 is I gently pull in to create a long torso. Mm-hmm. This is my natural position. I'm already feeling a pressure here. I'm not even faking it. Okay. I feel pressure right there, excessive pressure over time. That becomes arthritic. Maybe leads to stenosis. Mm-hmm. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Strive to breathe diaphragmatically versus not in the neck. Diaphragmatically here, that's the fourth. And then you want to strive to maintain all four, 1, 2, 3, 4, diaphragmatic breathing, because, Adrian, all one body, if you don't breathe diaphragmatically, you'll tend to breathe up. And guess what you're going to be using? Your neck muscles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to clog up.
That's probably contributing to my edema.
Correct. Yes. Instead of letting all the blood vessels and nerves get clenched, all the lymph vessels come under tension, even just from breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Clenching when you're breathing. So drop the breathing down into the number 4, the 1, 2, 3, 4, diaphragmatic breathing, and allow the neck to relax as you do the 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we get to the hip. Hinging from the hip allows you to maintain the same alignment, because tipping from the hip allows you to maintain the alignment, versus where everything gets clenched again. And then doing things, and then exercising the knee that from this position, things don't work as well. So, there, good, right? Which allows you to use the knee more efficiently so it can get stronger. If I do things for the knee, but I'm in that alignment, okay, which is a very common malalignment, the knee musculature does not work as efficiently. You don't get as strong as you could be, and then something may happen elsewhere, the neck, the shoulders, or the back. Okay, good. Because of this emphasis on the hip hinge, the hip muscles participate even during a knee exercise. And I made up an exercise for you, okay? You were saying that I'm only going to stand on this, okay, so you can see what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, okay, now I'm only going to step down so that, thanks, Byron.
Yeah.
So, remember, this is the sitting exercise,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is the sitting exercise. Well, okay, this is a strong hip and quad exercise.
Yeah.
And what happens if you do this, and you can have your hands lightly on your knees to help steady you, okay? If you repeat it, just repeat, down and back up. Notice my knees do not push forward. They don't do that. I keep my knees in place, stable. And I move behind my knees so my knees don't have to push forward, okay? You're looking for an exercise that really works the quads, okay? Do this repeatedly. See, the quads are lowering my body down. My quads are doing that along with my hip muscles in the 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Yep. And then my quads are bringing me up. And guess what the weight is? My body weight.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. Especially in this one, because without realizing it, I'm shifting over towards the camera as I'm doing this. So I'm really feeling this one.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's another good point. You can do it 50-50 to equally work both quads. And if you want to work one quad more, for whatever reason, you want to focus more on another quad or the other quad, what you do is you shift your body weight. So I add more body weight. So now this quad to this quad. So now this quad has to deal with it.
Because that's great. Because as I told you, I think last time, my quads and hamstrings are not, they're one's weaker than the other. They're not together.
Yes, okay. So,
And that's a big problem.
and this allows you to be able to focus on one set versus the other. Now, on the previous video, you see the way I'm actually shifting weight over to one leg?
Yeah.
Remember on the previous video how we spoke about moving to the center of gravity within the pelvic bone? Okay. As opposed to doing it leaning over this way to add weight, this is a malalignment. Okay. Even though you're adding more weight to this leg, the way I'm doing it is not as good or as efficient as moving from the center of gravity to add the weight to the leg. So
Can
now,
you look at my alignment and give me feedback?
that's it. Good. Correct. You should feel that in your right leg more.
Yes, that's what my weaker leg.
Yes. And this allows you to load up your body weight. It's all about supporting your own body, right?
Yes.
So you're training it to support your body weight. Yeah. Go slow. Make sure you have the alignment. Yep, you got it. You should feel a lot in your quad.
Yes, I do. I feel it right here.
Okay, you got it. See? Very good quad exercise.
Okay.
It's simple action.
Awesome.
And remember I was telling you about how you can stay naturally strong? Well,
Yeah.
it's because you're doing a sitting, standing exercise right now.
Yeah.
Except you're not quite getting into a sitting. You're not allowing yourself to sit fully down and relax. You're just repeating and through repetition, you feel it more on that right quad. Yes, good. Yep. So again, moving from the center of gravity. Notice I'm still staying aligned. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I have another question, and I think I know the answer, but I want to ask you anyway. When I do that, I feel some pain in my lower back.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what you have to choose then is individuality now. Okay. How your position of your back is causing that strain. Are you arching enough? Sometimes, of course, this is too much. I already feel a strain in my back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to back off, really pulling into the number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can feel my back relax actually, and then I maintain that throughout the whole exercise. Okay. But so maybe it's too much, in which case you would have to dial that in, number 3, and get your back to be not as arched. Some people, I'm not quite sure. Go ahead again. It looks like you have enough arch, maybe too much. Do you feel it now?
It was better actually.
Yeah. Sometimes people don't have enough arch and that they're rounding out as they bend. Then they start to feel the strains. I also feel a strain now on myself, but then I'm losing my arch. There I feel good. Oh, I'm clenching now. It's a bit
So
too much.
you're talking about neutral spine position.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, in the neutral spine position, you should feel the least amount of strain, ideally 0. And you can pause and then search for it. Okay, you notice how I'm sticking my butt out more? My back is pushing more? Too much now. My back muscles are really working way too hard. And so I'll now see about the neutral position. Now I'm rounding out. Doesn't feel too bad, really. Oh, I'm going a little bit more, and definitely I'm straining now, because now I'm losing my arch. I'm rounding out. That's not good. Yeah. This is neutral for me. It feels good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I trained myself to be able to feel that if I detect that I'm moving away, I correct. If you detect, you correct. And then move on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So in your performance, so in this case, the sitting down action and getting up, if you're feeling strain, pause at that point where you start to feel the strain and see if you feel it in your back, then search for the neutral. If you can get your pain to go away, the strain to go away, bingo. Now go slowly and try to maintain that as you move.
That's better.
Good.
But it can only go down a little bit.
And if you go down a little bit further, like you're trying to touch down into the chair.
My knees start hurting.
Okay, now make sure you push your butt back. Make sure your knee doesn't go forward, okay? Keep your knee as, like, see how I'm starting? Straight leg. I hinge from the hip, keeping my knee from pushing forward. And I maintain it sitting down, and I maintain it even getting up. So none of this back and forth with the knee. You want to maintain the same position of your knee so it doesn't go forward.
When I put my hands on my knees like this, it feels really good.
Yeah, it feels like a support, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And you still feel your quads work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But eventually, in real life, okay, non-exercise movements, you'll be carrying something in your hand, right? A dish, a drink. You're at someone's party and you want to sit down on the couch, right? Yeah. Is this seat taken? Oh, thank you. And then you sit down, your hands are occupied. So, yeah, basically, your hands here on your knees, okay, they're assistive, but you want to use them the least amount.
Yeah.
Okay? Because what's it all about? It's all about moving your body weight without any assistance.
I have a question, and it's kind of unrelated, but after I'm in neutral spine, when I stretch and do, like, hold my, overextend, it always feels better. Why is that?
When you stretch what?
Like go like this.
Oh, when you arch your back more?
Yeah, why does it feel better?
Because it might be because you're actually going too far forward, flexing too much, rounding out too much. Okay? Yeah. If you're neutral, you don't need to, you shouldn't feel a need to go back. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Especially when you come up. Make sure you're in the same neutral alignment as you come up. As well as sitting down. I have my hands like this just to show you that I'm keeping them out of the picture. You can, many people in the beginning, you can just lightly press your hands down into your knees, but as lightly as possible, so that you're working towards not using your hands. And that's why the cocktail party example, where your hands are occupied, you can't use them to get yourself up.
Right.
And for this dedicated quad exercise, okay, you don't sit down. You try and go as low as possible, but you don't actually sit. And as you repeat that, you're gonna feel the quad. To keep the knee from hurting, keep the knees from pushing forward, and so that you don't have to also just straighten the knee. You keep it all in one position. Basically, when it comes down to it, is as if you're doing the gym exercise, right?
Uh-huh.
Except you're standing, and now this is what has to move, not this. But this is the much better exercise. We actually frown on this one.
Oh, yeah.
If you weight, it's hard on the kneecaps.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard on the cartilage underneath the kneecap. But
What about,
not so much this. This one has much less strain on the kneecap.
what about this one? Marching.
Marching is fine. Just keep your alignment. That's more of a hip exercise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if you're paying attention to your alignment of your trunk, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Uh-huh.
and the alignment of your knee relative to your foot as you're working on this, pay attention to the alignment of your leg, right? We want that alignment.
Isn't it also a quad exercise?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe if you're sitting on something unstable like a Swiss ball, a balance ball, then your muscles have to work harder to hold you in place, keep you stable, okay? And quad will participate in that, but however, this in itself is not a quad exercise.
Okay.
You're sitting in a stable chair. Yeah. It's more of a hip muscle exercise, hip flexor. For anyone that's tight in the hip flexor, this is actually not that great of an exercise.
Now, when you start to hinge,
Yeah.
should your upper torso should be upright?
Yeah, it should be aligned in the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
That's why the hip hinge, to allow that, all you're doing is once you achieve the 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, you can maintain by hinging from the hip.
So you're straight.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not overly arched in my low back, and I'm definitely not rounded, which is the majority of people. They round out to get their weight forward. Okay. Good. The hip hinge is to allow you to stay stable through the aligned 1, 2, 3, 4 trunk, and the weight of the trunk over your feet so that you can get up. Legs. If I don't go far enough with the hip hinge, my weight is not quite over my feet. I can feel that. It's on my heels, actually. And if I try and get up, my toes lift up because I'm on my heels, and then I'm more likely to fall back. So you want to hinge far enough to get your weight, your upper body weight over the feet. You can feel the balance of it.
Yeah. It feels more even.
Right, exactly. Good body mechanics, which allows the musculature to get stronger with less strain, and you can use your joints as designed. And to keep it simple, it's the same thing if you were reaching back for something on the floor and getting back up. Oh, Byron, can you pick it? Oh, never mind, I'll pick it up. See? It's as if I'm sitting down. That's how you stay. That's why I say you can stay naturally strong if you practice and think this way. Consistent in the same simple actions. Even if I had to kneel down to get it. Right?
Yeah.
Wow. It's like I'm sitting, except one leg is behind me. One leg is behind me. But notice my knee doesn't push forward either. I'm hinging as if I was sitting. Yeah? That's a progression.
That's like a lunge.
Yeah, it is like a lunge. Correct. See how it all fits together?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a lunge. My knee still keeps from going forward, right? Yep, it's like a lunge.
Yeah.
But that is definitely more advanced. You go through the full range like that. That's why in the previous video, I said keep something close to you so that you can have a hand.
Yeah. I hold on to a piece of furniture.
Yeah, but see, this is as if this leg is coming out of sitting, right? Yeah. But it's all the same. It just except pushed a little bit further. Hinging, I'm still maintaining, and then my body weight's over my foot. I have enough strength to be able to go up and forward. But you see the same configuration as if I'm sitting, except one leg is behind me. And therein lies the progression. You can do that and repeat it. You don't have to go all the way down, just go towards you feel like you're on the edge of losing your alignment. Don't lose your alignment. Don't push the knee forward. And just repeat. Yeah. Now, I said last time, I got to move on and finish up now.
Yeah.
I said last time that I get into the stretches. Okay, they're very simple, but you want to be precise. As with all of this stuff, you want to be very aware and precise. So if you're sitting, if you're on a rolling chair, you have to watch out because this might roll. If it's a stable chair, okay. So if we stretch out the hamstring, you sit on the edge, securely on the edge. There. Right? Leg straight. And now maintain the same 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hinge from the hip. The same hinging from the hip as if you were getting ready to stand, except one leg, the stretch leg, is extended through the knee. This is the true hamstring stretch. A lot of people, they round out, reaching for the foot. That's not the true stretch because your back and spine becomes involved in it. If a person has spinal problems, this possibly could cause problems or add to it, okay? The true hamstring stretch means you hinge from the hip without the spine getting involved, except to stay stable in a good neutral alignment. That's the emphasis. And you'll find, when you do it, you'll find, oh, yeah, that's the hamstring. Okay.
It feels really good.
Yes. If your knee has a tendency to roll, to bend when you do this, that's because you're creating so much stretching tension that the knee bends. Push it straight without losing the alignment. Okay. Yep. Extra credit. Maintain the straight leg. Maintain the stretch by hinging from the hip. Lift the foot, toes to the nose. Toes to the nose. While I maintain the hamstring stretch, I maintain the hip hinge. Oh, I really feel it. It's behind the knee. It intensifies the hamstring stretch. And it also extends into the calf. A little bit into my foot, the underside of my foot too.
Mm-hmm.
And what that illustrates is the all the one body concept, okay? The fascia, the connective tissue, is continuous with the hamstring connective tissue into the calf connective tissue, into the plantar or underside of the foot connective tissue. So as I do this, the whole enchilada stretches. And you can choose how much you lift your toes to the nose. It can be quite intense.
Yes.
Extra credit, maintain that and the hamstring stretch and roll in the hip, knee cap with the foot, and
Yeah.
that will tend to intensify the stretch even more. And then I'll just go back and forth like that. This is what it looks like from the front. Okay. Hinging. There's the hamstring stretch. Oh, notice I'm keeping my alignment. I'm always thinking like that. Okay. I pull my toes to the nose. Ah! And then I roll in from the hip inward. Notice I'm not changing anything else through my trunk. It's from the hip again, shooting from the hip. Notice my kneecap stays with my foot. Remember?
Okay.
Advocate.
Do you hinge before you shift your hip in?
What?
Do you hinge first before you shift your hip?
Well, I hinge from the hip to get the stretch of the hamstring. That's the basic stretch.
Right.
Okay.
And then you hinge.
And then, well, I'm hinging forward. I'm hinging forward. Okay. And then I pull toes to the nose. And then I pivot from the hip, rolling in, kneecap with the foot.
So your leg is a bit to the side.
Well, not really. See?
But I mean, it's a little tilted.
Tilted?
Like.
Well, basically my feet are straight out. I'm kind of sitting a little bit slightly side saddled in this seat. But basically, my feet is as if I'm standing, right?
Yeah.
Yep. There I am. Do I want to be out like that? No. That starts to involve other parts of the hip musculature, the adductors, okay? It biases a little bit more to the inner hamstring group versus the outer hamstring group. Yep. And you can do this. That's fine. But if you really want to get the hamstrings, do it in the neutral. And the neutral is as if your legs were just underneath you. And then, once you stretch that out, you can start to vary.
Oh, so you're going out this way. I thought you were going in.
No, the rolling is inward.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I kind of went off on a tangent, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. A variation. But the basic stretch, hamstring stretch, is you hinge from the hip, knee straight. It's aligned, right? I'm in the 1, 2, 3, 4. And then toes to the nose for extra credit. And then extra credit, roll in from the hip.
Can you take a look at my alignment, please?
Yep. I think you, oh, sorry. Yeah, you have a tendency to hinge from try and keep a little bit of a neutral in your low back, okay, when you hinge from the hip to get that hamstring stretch. It looks like you're rounding out slightly in your low back, your lumbar spine. I think that's better. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, it looks like you're stable in your low back, your spine. Good, and you're hinging from the hip. Shoot from the hip. You feel it?
Yeah.
Hamstring should be stretching. And then maintain that. Pull your toes to the nose. That's going to intensify.
Yep.
Yep. And then from the hip, roll inward. Yeah, exactly.
The rolling inward is the hard part.
Yep. That really intensifies. So that's extra credit, but the basic hamstring stretch is the first one. Okay, I have to get ready to sign off, so let's go over the next one. And that's the what you've seen on people, okay, right? But it's done in steps, okay, in a sequence. First, I'm sitting half on, half off. It's better to have a chair this way. So a stable chair with a seat back is nice because you can hold on to the seat back to help steady you. You're gonna sit. You're gonna sit half on and half off. So this part of my butt is sitting on the chair. I'm using the seat back to help hold me steady. I'm still trying to practice the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yep. But the stretch leg is off the chair. You can make a slight allowance as long as you feel, the idea here is you don't want to be hindered by the chair with the stretch leg. That's all. Okay, so part one. Part one is you pull the knee, the heel towards your butt. If for you good people that can't bend the knee enough, you would have to use a towel or something like this belt. I love belts, they're handy, okay? And then you would pull your heel towards your butt. And what that does is that stretches the quad muscle. The quad starts partway down the femur and then to the knee. So it's strictly a knee muscle to bend. And if you bend only the knee, like what I'm doing now, it's stretching, elongating the quadriceps muscle. So that's step one, sequence one. Okay. And if you feel a stretch in the quad doing this, notice my knee is in front. It's your quad that's stretching. So just gently stretch it over the course of 30 seconds to 1 minute. Work your way up to 1 minute if possible. Okay. If it's too much, then okay. You work on it. It's a progression. But the idea here is heel to butt and then maintain it. If you feel a stretch, it's because the quad is tight. For those of you that are blessed with being able to pull your heel to your butt, that's all you do. And that stretches the quad. That's step one. Step two is, I'll pretend I'm limited in my knee. Step two is, and this is why you're sitting half on, half off, is so that chair doesn't block you. Now step two is bring the leg in back while you maintain the knee bend. And that gets another muscle called the rectus femoris muscle. Because the rectus femoris muscle crosses the front of the hip on its way to the knee, you have to involve the hip also. So step one, heel to butt. That gets the quad muscle. Step two, maintain the bend in the knee and pull the thigh back. And that gets the rectus femoris muscle. This stretch is the one you see athletes do. They're standing. Yeah. Here we're doing it sitting because it's easier. You can do it standing also.
That one's really hard for me. I've never been able to do it.
Yeah. If you do it in steps, if you make allowances, if you have trouble because your knee doesn't bend enough, make allowances and use a towel, or in this case, the belt. Okay, yeah. And here you can use the seat back to help steady you so you don't feel like you're gonna fall off. You can also do this lying down, by the way. Imagine myself lying on my right side. Well, I'll do it this way. Lying in bed, and I could do this. Then you don't have to worry about balance. Still be in your 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't be hunched over. Okay. Part 1, heel to butt. That stretches the quad. Then step 2, which gets the rectus femoris muscle. See? Yeah. Make sure your knee does not wander outward. Keep close to the other leg. And that'll get the stretch. Keep the knee close to the other leg. Do not wander outward. And that's the same stretch, except lying down to your side. Easier, a little easier because you don't have to worry about balance.
Yeah.
The one that requires the most balance is if you're standing doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, you could mitigate it on slightly leaning and touching the table or a wall, okay? But lying down on your side and doing this, it's the one that requires the least amount of balance. Thank you, Byron. And you would hold it for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. Keep it gentle. Do not pull so hard that it strains. Definitely don't make it painful. Okay, you should only feel a gentle stretch held over a longer period of time, which is much more effective than a strong stretch over a short time. So a strong 20-second stretch is not as good as a light 1-minute stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not as thorough. Okay?
Okay.
Carry on.
I'll see you.
Okay. Thank you, Byron.
Of course.